You ever feel like no matter how many hours you work, how many side hustles you try, or how much you hustle, money still slips through your fingers? Like there's an invisible sieve in your life, and income pours in on one side, yet something always leaks out? Exactly that, is what we're going to dissect today. Welcome to Money Root. In this video, we're doing a deep dive. What makes broke people broke? We'll peel back the psychology, the habits, the hidden traps, and the systemic patterns that sabotage many people's financial lives, even good, hard-working people. And I want you to stay to the end, because we'll close with a practical mindset shift that could quietly change your entire money story. Let me begin with a provocative point. Often, being broke isn't about how little you make. It's about how you think about money. Plenty of people with decent salaries still feel poor because their mindset, habits, and internal wiring betray them. Behavioral economists talk about something called present bias, the tendency to give disproportionately more weight to immediate rewards and undervalue future benefits. That's why a tempting purchase in the moment often wins, even when deep inside you know that money is better off saved or invested. Then there's the concept of scarcity. In scarcity, why having too little means so much? Mullainathan and Shafir show how the feeling of scarcity, of money, time, energy, tunnels your mind. When you're constantly worrying about paying monthly bills, your mental bandwidth shrinks. You become reactive, short-sighted, always managing crises. And that diminishes your capacity to plan, learn, or see longer horizons. So the first point, poverty of mindset often precedes poverty of bank balance. Let's name some of the invisible walls many people run into. 1. Avoidance and fear. Look, money is emotional. Fear of failure, fear of being judged, fear of losing, it's all tied to money decisions. Many people avoid looking at their bank statements, avoid comparing costs, avoid negotiating. Avoidance feels safe, but it cedes control. Also, overthinking kills momentum. Some smart analytical people freeze at indecision, wanting every variable perfect before acting. But in finance, done usually trumps perfect. Rich Dad 2. Mental accounting and silo thinking. We assign mental labels to money. This is for fun. This is for bills. This is bonus money. That can be harmless at times, but it also leads to irrational splits. You might carry high-interest debt while holding cash in a low-yield savings account because those funds are for something else. That split thinking can cost you dearly. 3. Low pain of paying. Awareness. Swiping a card or using pay later options decouples spending from the feeling of loss. When your payment feels abstract, you spend more. That diminished pain of paying encourages overspending. 4. Debt traps under the guise of financial inclusion. Digital finance and buy now, pay later options seem convenient, and they are. But for many, they become debt traps. Widely available credit encourages spending beyond means, and many people become ensnared in interest, fees, and rollover costs. Now, habits, those silent assassins of progress. Let me walk you through some habitual drains with tiny examples. Impulse purchases. You see a gadget, a limited deal, or an add-on item at checkout. You click Buy. 2 or 3 of those per week, and your fun money category becomes a bleeding wound. Subscription leaks, streaming services, apps you forgot, trial renewals. Sometimes people pay monthly for 3 services but use only 1. Canceling unused subscriptions is among the simplest money fixes. Lifestyle creep. When income rises, expenses rise to match. A small raise, and suddenly you're renting a nicer apartment, buying more clothes, upgrading your car. But your savings remain the same. Windfall spending, bonuses, tax refunds, gifts. People often treat them like found money, blowing them at once rather than using them strategically. That reinforces the habit that extra money is disposable. No buffer/emergency fund. Without a safety net, any surprise, medical bill, car repair, becomes a crisis and often results in borrowing. That debt snowballs. Beyond individuals, there are structural and behavioral systems at play. Lack of financial education. Schools rarely teach you how to manage money, invest, or think about financial psychology. You're left to fumble and learn through trial and error. Design of financial products, credit cards, payday loans, microloans are built to profit from late fees, rollover, compounding interest. The incentives are stacked against consumers unless you're very savvy. Behavioral inertia. You stick with defaults. I'll use the bank's default plan, I'll stay on autopilot, because it requires less mental effort. But default options are rarely optimal. The 1/3 rule. Some financial planners argue that allocating roughly 1/3 of income to debt/savings, 1/3 to living, and 1/3 to discretionary or growth use offers a balance and reduces bankruptcy risk. A rigid but guiding anchor. It's not enough to know the traps. You must build different wiring. Here are shifts to reprogram your money life. Shift 1. Pre-commitment and friction. Make it harder to do bad behaviors, e.g., remove saved card details from online stores, delete shopping apps, impose a 24 or 48-hour delay before non-essential purchases. That friction gives your rational mind a chance to intervene. Shift 2. Automate your future. Pay yourself first. Automate contributions to savings, debt repayment, investment. If it happens without your input, it's harder to override. Shift 3. Track leaks religiously. For 1 month, track every small expense under, say, $10. Coffee, snacks, impulse buys. At month's end, see where you've lost. That visibility alone changes behavior. Shift 4. Diagnose your money story. What stories do you tell yourself? I am bad with money. I don't deserve wealth. Money is evil. Those narratives guide behaviors unconsciously. Rewrite your internal script. Shift 5. Use windfalls. Strategically decide in advance. If I receive extra money, I'll split it. X% to emergency, Y% to debt, Z% to something meaningful. That way, the surprise doesn't destroy your progress. Shift 6. Compound your learning. Invest in your financial education. Read books. Follow experts. Engage in communities. Over time, compounding knowledge yields compounding results. The richer your mental toolkit, the better your decisions. Picture 2 people, Ada and Bayo. Ada earns 200,000 naira monthly. She uses subscriptions, impulse buys, keeps her cards stored on shopping sites, and spends the monthly bonus fully. She has no buffer. When a sudden school fee comes, she borrows. Interest eats her money. Bayo also earns 200,000 naira. But he deletes saved cards, imposes a 48-hour wait before non-essential purchases, tracks all leak expenses, automates 20% to savings, and treats any windfall as 50% debt repayment, 50% buffer. He still enjoys life, but his money bends toward growth. After 6 months, Ada is deeper in debt. Bayo now has increasing peace, a small buffer, and momentum. The difference often isn't in earning more, it's in wiring better. For the next 30 days, I want you to try this. Track everything under 1,000 naira, or your local small unit. Write it down or use an app. Identify your biggest leaks, the 1 or 2 categories that surprise you. Pick one behavioral friction. Maybe disable fast checkout, remove cards from stores, introduce a 24-hour delay before non-essentials, automate a small transfer, 5 to 10%, to a buffer emergency or debt fund. Do this before you see the money. At the end of the month, review and reflect. What changed? If you persist, you'll find that some change happens even with small effort. And consistency is your superpower. Let me leave you with this. Being broke is rarely a permanent identity. It's often a set of habits, mental models, and invisible traps. You don't have to shame yourself. You have to see yourself, learn, and quietly redesign. Now, I want to hear from you. What is your biggest leak you discovered? Which habit on this list hit you the hardest? What is one friction you're going to introduce starting today? Write it down in the comments. I'll read a lot of them and maybe respond. If you found value in this video, if it cracked open a new way of thinking about money, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future deep dives. On this channel, we don't just chase dollars, we change wiring. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Money Route.